One of my eyes is really red this morning. If this one looks redder, it's because I had troubles getting my contact in. I've gone back to using contacts. Okay, let me tell you what I'm using first. I'm using, for the crease, I'm using this little CYO single in Nothing to It. It's been really good as a crease colour, I have to say. It's a really nice colour. But yeah, I've gone back to trying contacts because I kind of gave up on it because everything was blurry. Because they say if you're going to use contacts and you don't have any problems with distance, which I don't, I've just got what's called presbyopia, which is age-related problems reading close up, but I don't have any distance. It means that you either have to wear glasses, you know, just when you're reading. So do you remember I was always complaining about needing glasses everywhere? I'd go from room to room and could never find my glasses. And so when I put contacts in, they can't correct both. They can only correct the well, they can either do multifocals where there's your brain has to switch between different rings in the contact lenses, or they can do this use one lens, which is what I've got at the minute, monovision, where you have one lens in one eye and your brain basically decides which eye to use. So if you're reading, so if I'm reading, my right eye kicks in, and if I'm walking about, my left eye kicks in. But it's not perfect. It means that there is some fuzziness. So when I'm walking around, there's a bit of fuzziness in the distance. And at first it made me feel really weird. And I didn't think I was going to continue with it. I know I can get varifocal glasses, but I don't know why. I just don't fancy those. Maybe I should have at least given them a go. But, you know, it's expensive to buy glasses, isn't it? Only to find out they don't work for you. And most people I know that have tried varifocal glasses haven't got on with them. Anyway, I gave up on contacts and just said, no, they're not for me. My eyes were getting sore every time I wore them. I met my friend for lunch. They were really, really sore. I had to take them out. Then the following day I put them in and we went for a walk and I had to stand in the middle of the woods trying to take them out, and they had makeup underneath them, you know, no wonder they were sore. And so I just said to Kev, these are just not working for me. I said, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to have reading glasses everywhere in the house. I said, because that's the only way it's going to work out for me. But then I'd do things like I'd be walking down the hall and I was looking at my phone and I couldn't see the battery percentage. I couldn't see how much battery was left. Or I'd be in the kitchen and looking in the cupboards and, you know, trying to look at the ingredients of things, and I couldn't tell the ingredients, and the glasses for there were like on the dining table. There was just still so many incidences where the glasses weren't near, and I was like, oh, this is no good, let me give contacts another go. I have still got this little Wet n Wild. Do you remember these used to be so popular in creme brûlée? And I think you can still get them from Amazon, and I love using this for my brow. Brow and blend basically. So I still had one lens left, so I put it in my right eye. And you know, I don't know whether it was just because I had a break from them, but it was easy to put in. And suddenly I just was able to tolerate the blurriness, and it was just such a relief to be able to see things again. And I don't know whether it was, like I said, because I'd had a break, but also because of how inconvenient it was just not being able to see anything. And suddenly being able to, like, I went to Boots and I was able to look at all the bottles and read the ingredients on the back, you know, and things like that was just such a relief that I was like, yeah, I'm going to get some contacts. So the only thing is I need to be really careful with makeup, you know, because like today I'm going to put eyeliner in my waterline and see how it affects it, because if I need to take it out later, I need to take it out. And this one is just a temporary, it's not the right prescription because I've ordered some and he gave me this as a temporary one. This is only a plus 1.75 and I need a plus 2, so you know, it doesn't matter if I ruin it basically. So what am I doing now? Oh, I'm going to put some primer on my eyes, or am I? I was going to do something with the corner. No, okay, I'm going to put some primer. What I'm going to use is this Revolution Pro Under Eye Primer. Somebody had mentioned why not use it on your lids, because being as it's supposed to, just squeezed it in a bit shut out, actually it's gone on the middle of my finger there. That being as it's supposed to cover up, you know, like take away wrinkles and smooth and stuff, why not use it as an eye primer? And I thought, what a good idea. I didn't think about that, so I thought, well, I'm going to try it, because again, it doesn't really matter if my makeup doesn't look perfect all day today. I've got the GP this morning to get my new medication, new bladder medication, and then So I'll go to the GP, go across to the shopping centre to get my prescription and do some shopping, and that's it. That's the only place I'm out today, and then tomorrow I'm going to York. So, okay, so eyeshadow. I'm going to use this sleek eyeshadow called Stubborn. Looks like that. But you could also use, it's not quite as red, but I've used this and it's really nice. This one here by CYO called This Is Fantasy. So I'll show you the colour of this one. This one is more of a cool kind of colour. But this one I have used, this I would say is a dupe for the MAC Handsome Prince pigment you've seen me wear before. And this sleek is a pretty good dupe for this MAC eyeshadow in Deep Fixation that you've seen me wear before. These are two eyeshadows and pigments that I've worn a lot in videos, and these two, I've not worn the sleek one, but I've worn another colour in this sleek. There's these two new eyeshadows, two new single eyeshadows out. I've worn the other colour, didn't like the other colour, but I like the formula, and I've worn that CYO colour before, so I'm going to wear this one, this sleek one today. The only thing is, I had to go back and change this sleek eyeshadow because the first one I bought broke before I'd even opened it, so be aware of that. So make sure you keep your receipt just in case it does the same thing. So I wore it as a one eyeshadow look last time. The only thing with that primer is it has dried down. So I normally like a little bit of a sticky base. I find their sticky base kind of grips onto the eyeshadow, you know, whereas this is sort of sliding on top of it, so I don't know whether that will hold it on as well. We'll soon find out. And it's certainly not making a difference to how it applies, you know, it's applying pretty well. Anyway, so yeah, York tomorrow, so I'll have to be getting up early. I think I've got to be at the train station for 7:30. So I should probably get up at, well, I suppose I'll get up at my normal time, about 6 o'clock, maybe 5:30. I'll get all my bag packed today and whatnot, and my outfit ready, so that I'm ready to just get out the door. And I need to today try and download some stuff on my iPad. I posted on Instagram asking what people thought I should download, but I've not had too much of a response. People don't seem to have too many recommendations. I had said I was thinking about downloading Suits, but then I thought it might have been something for myself and Kev to watch on TV, because we're sort of running out of things to watch together. And we watched season 1, episode 1, and I found it a bit boring, to be honest. Well, not boring, just the acting wasn't that great. I don't think I'm going to do this as a one eyeshadow look, you know. I actually want to put something in the corner. Got the perfect little palette. This is the Silent Treatment, I think it's called, the Wet n Wild Silent Treatment. I'm going to use that middle colour that says crease. I would never use that in my crease. Yeah, so it was just bad acting, that's what it was. It was bad acting, and it was very, very cheesy. So then we decided, well, why don't we move on a few seasons, because that was quite old, you know, season 1 was quite a long time ago. So we watched one from season 5, and that was a little bit better, but it was still very, very cheesy. And I don't know, I think we're very, very impatient, both Kev and I, with TV programmes. We need to be gripped instantly. Like, we like things like 24, Prison Break, which actually we've just recorded. That started last night, so we've got an episode of that to watch. But, you know, one episode. So anyway, that's not for me to watch on the train. So I think I'm going to watch Scandal. But even that, I don't know. I like Grey's Anatomy. I like medical things. So I've watched Grey's Anatomy. I've watched Private Practice. I've watched The Good Doctor. I don't think there's anything else like that I haven't really already seen that I could download for me. So I've watched all of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I think I might just have to read. I was going to try and download some YouTube videos, because there was a way of downloading, but it seems to be broken at the moment. I tried it last night and I was searching for an alternative to it, but it's not working anymore. I used to download them and watch them, and when we were going on big walks with Watson, you know, watch them offline. It was really handy, but it's not possible anymore, so that's a bit of a pain. Yeah, that's much nicer, isn't it? Yeah, that eye primer's worked pretty well. I'm confident that will hold. I feel like my eyes are a little bit uneven, so I'm just going to I feel like there's a little bit more brightness on that side. So I'm just going to take, I've got my Body Shop Vitamin E spray in here. I'm just going to spray my brush and go into that sleek eyeshadow and see if it goes on wet. See what it's like wet. Oh, nice. Yeah, that goes on nice wet, doesn't it? Because not all eyeshadows do. I thought most eyeshadows did, but I can't remember what one I was trying the other day, and it was, I think it was the NYX ones. Remember that NYX palette I got that wasn't so good? I think it was that one, and it didn't. I think it actually looked worse wet. I'm actually going underneath my eye as well, but I'll do all that after I've cleaned up. And I'm just going to do my eyeliner first. I'm trying to stick with the Drugstore theme. I'm using the Makeup Geek gel eyeliner. I've had this for a long, long time, so I've just put some liquid, some eyeliner thinner in it. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do this being that far away from the mirror. I have to move this mirror a bit. So health-wise, I have reduced that horrible drug I was on. I can't remember if I've already told you this, but I've reduced it by 25 milligrams. So I think I did tell you that. I'm feeling a bit more normal now. And I'm scared to increase it again because I can't say that I feel 100%. I just feel a bit more back to normal. I don't feel, you know, just ill all the time. Like really, I felt unable to do anything at all, and I just feel unable to form sentences. I still am forgetting the words for things, but it's just not quite as bad, you know. Sorry, I know that my hand is probably across there and difficult to see, but I don't usually do my eyeliner on screen, do I? But thankfully, it is still controlling my appetite a little bit. I didn't think it was at first when I stopped it. I suddenly got my appetite back and I was like, oh no. I was hoping that it would still help curb my cravings a little bit, but some of it is willpower, because I have noticed that it sort of gave me that push that I needed to go, no, you don't need to be eating the way you were, you know. It sort of gave me that little, like when I saw the scales going down, you know, it was like, oh, that was really nice, so if I do better I can continue to see that. So some of it's me, and I think some of it is the medication, because I was telling Kev, when I met my friend for lunch, I passed Harvey Nichols and was like, will I get some cakes to take home? And then I was like, no, there's no need to get cakes. And normally I wouldn't be able to resist getting cakes, but it was just more of a normal thought process than, no, I have no choice, but like, yes, I'm getting a cake. I'm going to go up the, 10 flights of stairs that it is, or whatever, 10 escalator rides to get a cake. It just wouldn't have been a question. I would have just gone and got a cake. Whereas I was able to make a more sensible decision. And I think that is the medication, because, polycystic ovary does give you sugar cravings for sure. And it's something that you have to fight. And so that in itself has made me feel a bit better, because it's made me realise how much of an actual physical thing it is. And so it's not all choice. It makes it a harder choice to make, to not have the bad stuff, And I think people don't realise that don't have a sugar imbalance, because I've got, as well as polycystic ovaries, I've got insulinemia, they call it, which not everybody with polycystic ovaries has, but it means that my insulin the insulin receptors don't work very well, which again means that my sugar goes up and then it crashes, and that makes me crave sugar. Yeah, and I don't know, I just felt a bit better. And this medication I think is helping control that, because it does have some effect on insulin sensitivity. So it's nice to feel like what I consider to be a normal person, Oh, I could fancy a cake, but I can also make the decision not to have one, rather than having that kind of crazy craving, I'm just using the Egyptian Magic, as always, to take off the mess. And I haven't used anything else but that. I don't even know what I used before. I think I used wipes, didn't I? Or eye makeup remover. And this is just a fantastic way to do it, because I feel like I'm getting some moisture to the area as I'm cleaning up, and it's, that's a bonus. Okay, what I am using under my eyes is I bought C2 in the Revolution Conceal and Define, because that's the colour I always wanted. So I want to see if it's too light. And saying that, the only way I'll really tell is if I use this when I'm doing videos, and I'm actually not doing any videos today. Well, apart from this one, I suppose I can see what it looks like in this one, can't I? I said I'm not doing any videos, and here I am doing a video. The only thing is I am still getting headaches, and I am still needing to lie down in the day. So I don't know whether the lying down in the day is from the headaches or whether it's from the side effect of the topiramate, because that is a side effect, is getting fatigue, you know. So I don't know whether it's just because I'm not on a therapeutic dose. I don't know. I just think, part of me thinks, am I fighting too hard against this? Because we were watching this programme on Dr. Christian called Dr. Christian Will See You Now, and somebody on that had Ehlers-Danlos, and she was in a wheelchair. And I know that a lot of people with Ehlers-Danlos are in a wheelchair, and you know, fatigue is a big part of it. And I sometimes wonder, you know, with me constantly going to the doctor and whatnot, am I just trying to get answers where there are none, i.e. I'm tired every day because I have Ehlers-Danlos, and it's that simple. But the thing is, I don't think it is. I think these cervicogenic headaches are the thing that are making me feel so awful. And I think that, again, I don't know whether I told you this, but I think that if I have an occipital block in the nerve here at the back of my neck, I think that would make a huge difference. And in order to get that, I need to go through a neurologist. And I don't think that we get that occipital block in Scotland, but if I could get it privately, I would happily pay for it. And if that didn't work, then maybe that's the point where I'll go, okay, fair enough, I've tried everything, I just need to accept it. You know, it's part of the condition, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, I didn't bring any powder through, but that's okay, I shall sort that out later. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that crease colour. That eyeliner's taken a long time to dry, I think, because I put the eyeliner thinner on. I'm going to take that crease colour, and this is the brush. It says number 6 on it. It's just an artist brush. I buy brushes from The Range, which is, for those of you in the US, The Range is just a big sort of superstore, but it does sort of craft stuff. I'm just going under my eyes with that, sort of quite liberally. It does craft stuff, it does, what else? Does some food, it does some furniture. It's not a supermarket, it's just, yeah, it's mostly craft stuff actually. I've bought a lot of the wedding stuff there for the wedding. And I've bought these art brushes, and you know, I've bought art brushes for years to do makeup, so I usually get my eyeliner brushes. That's that. Then I'm using this is a Real Techniques brush. I'm going to go in with that Sleek. Just in the corner, I don't know what this is going to look like, but we'll see. I'm just going to go in there, like so. So wedding stuff is going really well, I have to say. I finally feel like I'm organised because I've written out all the lists that I needed to. I was so busy doing stuff and I didn't have time to actually write lists out, and there was just notes everywhere. But I finally had time to do lists. The one thing that's not organised is there's a couple of things I haven't booked, and one of them is the table hire, because by the way, I'm using that same brush again that I just used for the eyeshadow. I just cleaned it, and I'm using the Makeup Geek eyeliner, and I'm putting it in my waterline. This is where I was saying it might get on the contacts, but we'll see. The company that I found in Edinburgh aren't answering my emails, and their online system, I don't know, I just don't feel like I can trust it because it doesn't seem to include the delivery prices. I don't know, it's just all very odd. And also, tablecloths are causing me a lot of angst because they're very expensive. I can't find a tablecloth for hire for less than £12 per table, which is going to be £66 for the room. plus that, so it's going to be about £70. But I can buy them for £11, but what does my dad want with, you know, 6 tablecloths? So what I've done is I've ordered some paper tablecloths, but people are telling me that apparently paper tablecloths nowadays from online party stores are actually very nice. So I've ordered one, and we shall see. We'll see what it looks like. And my dad was telling me yesterday that he's actually going out for dinner after the wedding, which I was surprised at. But it does finish at 8 o'clock, so, or maybe even 7 o'clock. We extended it to 8 o'clock. It's only an afternoon ceremony. He also told me he's having a stag night, bless him. I'm just like, oh my God, my dad is such a party animal. Even though he's in his 70s, he's always been more into partying than I am. By the way, this is Sleek Take You High mascara. This is the one I'd put on Instagram as recommending. Because I've been using it for a while and it's pretty good. Like I said, I'd like it to be a little bit more dramatic, but it is pretty good. But yeah, he's always been a partier. I think I've never really been that big on partying. You know, I've always been the first one to want to go home at parties. And people are always moaning that I went home too early. You know, even like when I was 18, people were moaning that I was going home too early. But once I was drunk, I just wanted to go home. And once I felt even a bit tipsy, you know. I remember my dad dropping me off sometimes to go to nightclubs, and he'd be like, can I come in? And I was like, no, you can't come in. He always wanted to come out with me and my friends. So weight-wise, I was trying to work out this morning what I'd lost, because I do it in kilos now. I never used to do it in kilos. I used to do it in stone. And I know I was like 13 stone something when I started. I switched it to kilos because we measure Watson in kilos, because that's what they measure him in at the vet. So I started off at 82 kilos, and I'm now, just today is the first time I've been under 78 kilos. I'm 77 point something. And I was like, right, what will be a stone? And a stone will be 7 kilos, won't it? So that will be 75 kilos. So when I lose another 2 kilos, which is 4 pounds, I will have lost a stone. That's quite a lot, you know. My clothes don't feel that big. Don't feel like I've lost that much weight, but anyway. Okay, so that's the eyes done. I am going to go and have a cup of tea and finish off the rest of my makeup. I think Kev's still here. He's got a golf day today, so and yeah, I'll come and show you the finished. Okay, ta-da! Okay, this is the finished look. I confess, I nearly forgot to come and show you. This is actually after the doctor's. I was sort of wandering around the house after I finished my makeup thinking, there's something I need to do, and I couldn't think what it was. So I just kind of got on with a few other things, and then I went to the GP, and it was on the way to the GP. I was like, oh, I meant to film the end of the Patreon video. Completely forgot about it. I think it's because I was stressing because, do you know how I told you about the walker, and I never know what time the walker's coming because she doesn't tell me until on the day which walk she's taking Watson on, either the lunchtime or the late afternoon one. And it just really throws me because I can't plan my day. Like I was like, is she going to come while I'm out? Because I was going to the GP and then over to, you know, the shopping centre to get my prescription and to pick up my contact lenses and do some shopping and things. And I was like, is she going to pick him up when I'm out? Or can I go out later? Do I need to take him for a walk in between? I don't know. It just throws me. I'm definitely a planner. And so I think I was in a bit of a tears because of that. So anyway, I picked up my contact lenses, been to the GP, got my new oxybutynin drug to add in for my bladder thing. And it's funny, the chemist said to me, this is going to give you a dry mouth. And I was like, oh. My mouth could not get any drier. Honestly, every single drug I'm on gives me a dry mouth. And I've got a dry mouth spray, one in my handbag, one on my bedside cabinet. I literally use my dry mouth spray as soon as I go to bed, and I use it throughout the night. And so I cannot imagine how I'm going to cope with my mouth being any drier. I have to make sure I use a spray, like a decongestant spray. I can never say that word. And I'm not supposed to use that because of my blood pressure, but I figure being as my blood pressure is controlled with tablets, it's okay. But I have to use that because I get such a blocked nose that if I can't breathe through my nose, it makes my dry mouth even worse, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I can't imagine what this is going to be like. And if I get the same side effects as I did on the other anticholinergics, that's what they are, which was really bad indigestion, then I'm going to feel a wreck again. I really wish I didn't have to take so many tablets, but I also can't continue to live like this. And today has been especially bad with my bladder, actually, because I went to the bathroom just before I left to go to the GP's, and the GP is less than 10 minutes drive away, and by the time I got there I was in agony. And so the first thing I had to do was use their bathroom, and then I went from there to the shopping centre. By the time I got to the shopping centre, which is again 5 minutes away, I was in agony and had to go straight to the bathroom. And that's just no way to live, you know. It's just, I was just lucky that there was bathrooms available to me. Otherwise I spend a lot of time in pain. So I'm not going to take them until, I'm going to take them for my train journey home from York tomorrow, because that's when I'll be taking my tablets on the train, because I won't have an evening meal, so I'll need to take them with me. And my mum normally buy something from M&S to have on our separate train journeys home, because we're normally sort of too late home. We don't get home until 8:30, 9, so it's too late for a sort of proper evening meal, you know. Anyway, like I said, picked up my contact lenses. So the one I've got in at the minute is a 1.75, so the ones I've got are a 2, and I felt that blurriness again today that I felt before with these contacts. So I don't know what's going on, because some days I get on really well with them. It's the mono lens that I'm wearing. And some days I feel completely comfortable with them. And other days I just feel really like everything's blurry, and I just feel really like, oh, I don't know, it makes me feel really uneasy. And today's one of those days that, like, I was in Marks and Spencer's and I was supposed to be getting us something for dinner, but I didn't even want to think about what to choose. So I just grabbed things that, I got this chicken and cheese thing that we've had before, and I was just like, oh, that'll do. You know, I didn't really want to browse. And what they've told me to do, because I said, I went to see the optician and said it was working okay for distance, that I could cope with that it was a little bit blurry, but I knew that that was kind of what you had to put up with, and that I could read close up no problem, but that the computer was blurry, and I was pulling my glasses. I'd be sitting at the computer and I'd be like, oh, I need my glasses, but then when I put my glasses on, all it was doing was making it bigger but still blurry. And so what he told me to do was buy some cheap glasses, which I did, that are the lowest prescription possible. So these are a 1. I couldn't find a 0.75, so he said wear my lenses with a pair of glasses at the computer, and that does seem to be working. But I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a sign you're getting old, isn't it, that you need contact lenses and glasses. But anyway, I'm rambling a bit, so I just wanted to show you what it all looked like together. I'm quite pleased at how it turned out. I think that's a really pretty eyeshadow. It's kind of a really nice warm copper, isn't it, and seems to be lasting okay so far with that primer on. So anyway, thank you for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I really wanted to do something drugstore for you guys, because I know that you know, a lot of you, like I said in the last one, I would like to do more drugstore for you, but I've got a lot of high-end. I don't have a lot of drugstore, and a lot of the high-end stuff is only available in the US, so a lot of what I've got is Lorac Pro and that kind of thing. So I was really pleased that I was able to do something that is I don't know whether you call this a favourite eye look, but it's a recent favourite eye look. So yes, it is a favourite eye look. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I really do feel like I'm rambling. So thanks for watching. Sorry there's no intro to these videos. I just seem to just go straight into it. But thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.